20 years ago, this guy was the most hated man in the world. He was the dictator of Iraq from 1979 to 2003, and he killed thousands of Iraqis in that time. He also invaded Iran and Kuwait and became the whole world's enemy. And in this video, you will get the whole story from the beginning. All bad people have a bad childhood, so let's start there. He was born in 1937 in a very poor place. His name also means him who confronts. His dad died before he was even born, and his new stepdad, who also was his uncle, was called the Liar. He forces Saddam to steal for him and beats him with a stick and makes him dance for him. Saddam always had a metal stick on him and tortured animals for fun. He was 10 years old when he escaped to his uncle's on his mother's side and lived with him, his cousin and his future wife Sajida and his other cousin Adnan. When he was 20, he registered at a Ba'ath party which wanted to reunite all Arabic lands. He quickly became the leader of a gang who beats up their enemies. They see his potential and he has to kill the prime minister for them. He doesn't succeed, but becomes one of Iraq's most wanted men in the doing. Over the next years, he gets further up in the hierarchies in the Ba'ath party. He is extremely violent. He uses that to become the vice president. So, let's talk about when he first took the throne in 1979. He gives the current president an offer: f*** off or die. The president chooses the first option. The first thing he does is that he gets all his 66 ops out of the way by telling everyone they plotted something against him and broadcasts it on live TV. He brutally kills the innocent party members by forcing the other party members to execute them while there is a live audience and cameras. But this is only the beginning. In the next almost 25 years, he does everything in his power to keep his job. But for now, let's talk about Saddam's f***ed up family. Saddam's cousin Adnan was his oldest best friend. Hussein's other cousin's name was Kamel. Saddam's wife's name was Sajida. He has 3 daughters and 2 sons. Uday, who is crazy. At his own birthday party, he started shooting in the air because he was bored. He loved to rape random women on the street, and he has his own prison that Saddam gave him. He loves to torture people he don't like in the prison. And he also has Qusay, who is not so important. Saddam uses his family to maintain his power, and they all get important titles. Saddam had affairs with a lot of blondes, but someday he falls in love with a blonde. So his wife, Sajida, begs her son Uday to do something. Uday then tries to kill one of Saddam's servants. Saddam gets very angry at Sajida and marries the blonde to get revenge. Adnan gets popular in the military, so Saddam kills him because he thinks he can trust him. Saddam likes Kamel's son, and there are rumors that he will be the next dictator. Uday doesn't like that, so he tries to kill Kamel. It doesn't succeed, and the Kamel brothers escape out of the country. Saddam is really angry at this, so he takes Uday's titles away and lets all his prisoners go. Like, basically he takes his toys away. Hussein Kamel wanted to get an alliance with the USA so they can overthrow Saddam. But the USA really doesn't want to cooperate. Then they go back to Iraq and Uday kills them by Saddam's hand. All of this happened during Saddam's regime, but back to Saddam's story. He's only been president for 1 year when he already feels threatened. Ayatollah Khomeini was the new president of Iran, the neighboring country. He hates Iraq because Ayatollah was a Shia Muslim while Hussein was Sunni Muslim. Ayatollah encourages the Shia Muslims in Iraq to commit rebellion against Saddam. Saddam chooses to attack Iran to show Ayatollah that it is none of his business. He is sure it will be a quick and cheap war. But it wasn't quite that. 2 years later, the war is still going. Now it's Iran that is beating up Iraq. Saddam has a perfect mixture of oppression and propaganda. I'll just quickly tell you a crazy story. In March 1984, a son who had seen a lot of his own friends die deserted from the war. The father killed his own son while he slept, and when Saddam saw that, he said the father was a hero. Stories like this happened thousands of times in Iraq at that time. It was a true snitch country. The children even get told in school that they have to tell the teacher if their parents talk badly about Saddam. He even brainwashed the population to love him using propaganda. He even had his own reality show. That is why many people loved him, but not the Kurds. They wanted to make their own country, and under the war the Kurds allied themselves with Iran. But then something horrible happened. Saddam had acquired nerve gas. And here's a quick demonstration of how it works. But what did he use it for? On March 16, 1988, the Iran soldiers had just taken Halabja, where the most people are Kurds. Saddam Hussein bombs Halabja's civilians with nerve gas. 5,000 to 8,000 people die, and most are civilians. The economy is falling apart in Iraq. Finally, in the summer 1988, the war ended. But nothing changed apart from the economy being destroyed. But Saddam celebrated his victory to seem like he won. Now it's the world's third poorest country. Saddam needs a real victory because everyone is starting to doubt him. So he looks to the south, to Kuwait, a little but rich country, and he decides to invade them. In the early summer of 1990, Saddam walked into a business room. He asked if they wanted to invade Kuwait. No one really wanted to talk because they were really scared of saying something wrong, but he encourages them to say their own meaning. One person says that maybe it's not a good idea, and he just encouraged the others to say something. At last, almost all of them start saying it's a bad idea. The following month, everyone who said it was a bad idea got hung up along with other opponents. Everything still goes badly. People are beginning to hate him more than they fear him. But Kuwait has so much oil, and Saddam also hates them, and he owes them a lot of money. Saddam says that Kuwait has insulted him, but we don't really know if he's lying. It will also make him look tough. August 1990, he invaded Kuwait, and it went really well. It only took a couple of days to fully invade Kuwait. Now everyone is celebrating him, but there is a little problem. Every other country think it was a bad idea to invade Kuwait. So there are a lot of countries, including the USA, that want him to leave the country, or else they will declare war. But if he goes out, he will look weak and it will really hurt his ego. So then he makes everyone in Kuwait and Iraq not be able to leave the country and takes them as hostages. He films it while he visits the hostages. He wants to say why he's holding them as guests, as he frames it. He tells them that they are here to prevent a war, but it didn't really go that well. He finally then lets the hostages go by making the different countries send celebrities and make them talk good about him on television. The USA sends a deadline to go out of Kuwait or there will be war. January 16, 1991, the Americans began to bomb Iraq. His only chance is to force the Americans to go into Iraq by making them angry, like he wants to rage bait them. First, he sends missiles into Israel. Then he sets fire to oil refineries in Kuwait. But his rage baiting techniques doesn't really work. So lastly, he begins to pour oil into the ocean. Then they go into the country. And after 4 days, he's forced to leave Kuwait. But it becomes a bloodbath. While the Iraqis are running from the Americans, they get bombed by American jet fighters. Saddam's days seem to be counted. But George Bush Sr. pulls out again. Saddam is sad. Everyone hates him. The end is near. On September 11, 2001, the most terrible terror attack happened. And the USA blames Saddam Hussein, even though he didn't really have anything to do with it. They have 3 reasons to blame him. First, the USA thinks that Saddam supports Al-Qaeda, but that is not true. The USA also thinks that Saddam has mass destruction weapons, but that is not true either. He actually destroyed all of his weapons. Lastly, and ironically their best reason, they think he's a stupid pig. So March 2003, USA attacks Iraq. Saddam doesn't really have a plan, so he sends his wife and kids out of the country and escapes himself. Iraq is getting their ass whooped, and the US occupies Iraq. Hussein's 2 sons, Uday and Qusay, get killed after seeking shelter at a friend's house, while Saddam himself is nowhere to be seen, and he's on the run from the USA. Finally, one of his friends betrays him and tells the USA where he is. He senses them come and hides in a hole, but it does not go long before they find him. But anyways, the USA gives the power in Iraq to the Shia Muslims, which was a big mistake because they now suppress the Sunni Muslims, and the country is just in chaos. And there's war in Iraq. So the time after he got captured, it didn't really get better in the country. November 5th, 2006, Saddam comes to court, and he's really like insane. He's acting really weird. He's really crazy, and he starts yelling, "Long live the nation and the people, life to the people, and nation and death over the enemies." But Saddam's lawsuit gets managed very badly, and his rights get suppressed several times, and his lawyer also gets kidnapped and killed. But finally, he gets a death sentence. But there's this video of his death. It almost makes him seem like the good guy, with all these Shia Muslims yelling insults at him and him almost taking it as a hero. But it doesn't really make it better that Iraq is almost worse after his death, with even more killing, suppression, and corruption.
Oh my god.
The truth is that in some stories, there just are no good guys. Thank you for watching this video, everyone. If you want to see more, I'm planning on making this a series. So if you want to see more, then like the video, subscribe, and write your ideas of which rulers of fear I should do next, if you have any. Yeah, again, thank you for watching, and I'll just see you in the next video. Lamanas out.